Hello and welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. I thought I would do something a little bit different today and do a quick roundup of all the board gaming and tabletop gaming news relating to new products that have caught my eye recently. This isn't all the news, but it's my hand-picked cream of the crop. And to be clear, this is not a sponsored video, but much of the news is related to some of my favourite companies which I have worked with and will hopefully work with again in the future. Relevant links for all of these stories have been included in the video description below for information purposes only. First up, the Jungles of Delthrak collector's dice for HeroQuest are currently available for pre-order. I did make a community post about this on Friday last week, but I know a lot of people don't see those posts, so I wanted to mention it again. By the way, if you don't see my community posts, please check your notifications for this channel and make sure they are set to all. I sometimes use the community posts to make small updates when I don't have time to make a video, or to discuss subjects that I don't think I can make into a full video. The Jungles of Delthrak dice are made by Fanroll in association with Avalon Hill, and the set comprises 6 green crystal themed dice. If you're in the UK or EU, you can order just the dice, which come in a presentation tin, but if you are in the US, you pay a little more and get a dice tray too. I have no idea what that dice tray will look like. Price is $40 in the US, £19.99 in the UK, or €22.99 in the EU. Outside of the US, orders are limited to 5 per customer and are set to ship on October the 7th. There is no limit in the US, but the estimated shipping date is December the 1st. Moving swiftly on, I am very excited that Moonstone, the wonderfully whimsical award-winning tabletop skirmish game from Goblin King Games, is now accepting pre-orders for the new Shades faction through their online store. This faction was initially available through a Kickstarter campaign, but now that backers have received their orders, the team is rolling out these products to retail. As a huge fan of this game, which I have covered quite extensively on the channel, I did back the Kickstarter, and I received my goodies a few weeks back. However, I only picked up the exclusives and things I thought it would be difficult to get later on. I was waiting for retail to start building my Shades faction rather than buying a mountain of miniatures that it would take me months to get painted and on the table. One of the really exciting aspects of this new faction launch is a brand new starter set containing Shades and Leshervolt units. No exclusive characters, just a good selection to get you started with those two teams. This means that if you are new to the game, you now have a choice of 2 different starters, so you can go with the original Commonwealth vs Dominion set, which gives you humans versus goblins, or you can opt for the new set, which gives you fauns versus the undead. I'm going to be talking more about the new releases very soon, but for now, be aware that the pre-orders are open, with shipping set for the 27th of September. Next up, we have a new release from Steamforged Games for their pretty darn good skirmish board game Godtear. This is a game that I bought the 2 starter sets for and really enjoyed, and I covered the game on the channel several years ago. Each starter set includes 2 champions that you can mix and match to form interesting team combos, and there are many expansion packs, each containing another champion character and their minions. The full gameplay experience requires 3 champions per player, and half the fun is figuring out cool synergies to crush your opponent. Unfortunately, I found it difficult to get it to the table, so I never really expanded the game, although I would still like to and often consider picking up a few more champions. If I'm honest, I thought support for the game might be coming to an end, as it has been out since 2019. But now, Steamforged Games have announced a brand new champion expansion, Durthax, Branch Lord of the Weald. This is a cool tree man with a grove of little tree friends to march into battle. His focus is on battlefield control and defensive play, as he can move objectives around and deny placement to enemies. Pre-orders are already live on the Steamforged Games website ahead of the retail release on October the 22nd this year. And Steamforged Games have clearly been busy, because this isn't the only news from them. They have also recently announced a new Bardsung core set, Bardsung Tale of the Forsaken Glade. Bardsung is a dungeon crawler that I have always wanted to try but never had the chance, as it's a pretty expensive box set and there was always other demands on my hobby budget that meant I was never able to get a copy. This new core set for the gaming system has remastered the gameplay of the original and introduces a brand new campaign, in which heroes will enter a decaying forest realm to battle a black dragon. It offers true solo play and a co-op mode for up to 5 players. Matt Hart of Steamforged said, "This time we've deepened the narrative, dialed up the meaningful encounters, and kicked combat up several notches, giving players more immersion, more challenges, and more ways to create their Bardsung legend. The art and miniatures are stunning and grotesque in equal measure, and we can't wait to share more. Not surprisingly, there will be a crowdfunding campaign to launch this new edition of the game. It's going to run on Gamefound, but the date hasn't been announced yet. It's worth following the campaign on Gamefound if you think you might be interested though, as if you do and subsequently make a pledge, you will receive an Overseer miniature as a reward. And while we are talking about crowdfunding, Warlord Games have just announced they have a Kickstarter campaign launching on the 1st of October 2024 for something a little bit unusual. Their first ever bespoke board game, Vanguard Normandy, which is inspired by their popular tabletop game Bolt Action. According to the Warlord community page, Vanguard Normandy invites you to deploy your troops and test your tactical acumen in refighting the thrilling battles of Normandy 1944. The game is incredibly quick and simple. Generate a unique battlefield from any of thousands of possible combinations, pick a faction, and you're ready to go. Multiple unit types are represented with high quality bespoke gaming pieces, and no assembly or painting is required. Plus, with a dedicated solo play mode, you don't necessarily need an opponent either. That all sounds pretty good and could be worth keeping an eye on. But I think I am probably going to leave it there for today. That's more than enough to bash the hobby budget for the next few months at least. I'm going back to my painting table. I have a lot of stuff to get through. I hope you have enjoyed this quick news roundup, and as always, if you did like the video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really like the video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so, and hopefully I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone, bye bye.